Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the 2020 version of the latest installment in the Call of Duty franchise, has received mixed reviews. So let's start things off with the maps. 8 maps in total. That includes ground war, that includes multiplayer. The least amount of maps ever to be launched in a Call of Duty franchise, and that is a hindrance on this game. Now, I was not a huge fan of Modern Warfare in 2019. I loved the Modern Warfare franchise, but I did not like the gameplay of that title. I thought it was too campy. Thought it was too many dark corners for people to hide in. The doors. Jesus, the doors. With Black Ops, that is not necessarily there. Yes, you do have some maps that have dark places, but you do not have to deal with doors. You do not necessarily have to deal with campers unless you're playing, say, kill confirmed or team deathmatch and hardcore. Now, I'm the type who will mix it up. I really like hardpoint. I really like domination. With these maps, it has a traditional, not necessarily 3-lane map design, but it's more. It seemed like Modern Warfare went so far forward in regards to bigger map designs, and Cold War is a little bit smaller, but you do get a tendency to play on like Satellite and Miami, where you're running, and you cannot find anyone. Even if you say you're playing in, core gameplay or core game modes, you're still trying and searching to find enemies compared to like a map on Garrison or Checkmate or even Moscow. Now, obviously, with this franchise, they're constantly changing and somewhat evolving the way that they do things, whether that is different game modes, whether that's the progression system and bringing back prestige mode, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, the way that they did the prestige, where you go from the launch of the game up to level 55, and then once you hit that, then you go up various tiers, and it's kind of complicated to explain, but with all these different seasons, you'll get reset to 55 and work your way up into another season, but you're constantly moving towards that prestige mode, which has multi-layers of doing so, which is nice. Because in Modern Warfare, it almost felt like, okay, every time you hit a new season, your rank would reset, and it's like, okay, what am I doing here? Because no matter how much ground I make on one season, it gets reset, so what am I necessarily working for, right? And so they fixed that with Cold War, which I appreciated. In terms of game modes, they'll be adding more. Like I said, I'm a big fan of hardpoint. I'm a big fan of domination and kill confirmed. I think in terms of the gameplay aspect, the gunplay is awesome. That is my favorite thing about this, because it feels like a traditional Call of Duty game in that regard. And then you throw in the map design, and it feels like you're in a Call of Duty game, which is what you want when you buy a Call of Duty game.
Confirm and kill.
Yes, they have tweaked the time to kill. It's a little bit longer than the super short Modern Warfare time to kill. But I don't necessarily have a problem with it, because if you have a problem with the time to kill in core gameplay, then you can just go into hardcore. And, obviously hardcore, one shot, one kill with the 1911, and you're good. And I'm the type of guy that likes to kind of run around with a pistol from time to time, and I like that aspect. It almost feels like you're in a John Wick movie, where you're just popping guys, and they're falling left and right. So that's fun in that regard. Nuketown is coming on November 23rd. I am recording this on the 19th of November. So that will change going forward. So you'll have that new map. It seems like they're going to the original design of it, but they're changing the graphics of everything, which is nice. Obviously, Season 1 kicks off in early December, and so you'll get more maps from there. So, in total, The multiplayer for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is fun. I like it more than Modern Warfare. But one of the hindrances of this game, and really the Call of Duty franchise, is the fact that you get such limited content at launch, and it almost feels like you're playing a beta version of the game when you first get it. And they're almost waiting for the holiday season to kick into play in order to get more content out. And best example of that is the Season 1 content that is coming. I like the fact that they're constantly giving you new content in these different season updates, but at launch, you would at least want, 12 maps. You're limited on guns in terms of, I think there's 5 assault, 5 SMPs, and such. There's 3 sniper rifles. There's 2 shotguns. The shotguns are secondaries in this game, although you can run them. I don't even think you can run them as primary, but you can, I think it's called Gunfighter. You can get that perk and run it where you have, say, a shotgun and, an M16. Regarding guns, I will say this because they just nerfed it. The MP5 at launch was extremely overkill and just the best weapon in the game, and they nerfed it from a damage and range standpoint. So now you're kind of left with, most people would say the M16 is the best, although I wouldn't necessarily recommend you running around and trying to, outstrike, say, an AK-47 or any of the submachine guns. You're going to get beat in that regard. But when you're playing core gameplay, if you're in a short distance, you're usually going to get them in one burst. Medium to long range, you're going to get them in 2 bursts, which is fine because it rattles off so quickly. It really doesn't have any recoil, especially if you get any type of foregrip on there. So I would say that's probably the best gun in the game. The AK-74U is really fun. Obviously, the Commando, which is a different name in this game. I think it's the X4. That's a really good gun, and you start out in default. To wrap this up, I would say that Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has a lot of potential. I think they went with the launch wrong in regards to such limited content, but I think this game can grow. I already have about 12 hours into it, and I'm a big fan of it. So, with that being said, thank you all for listening to this review. Andrew Raven signing off. If you're an MMA fan, go check out my website, RavenStarMMA.com, and check out Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War for yourself. This is my review.